What is up, everybody? How are you doing today? It is Wednesday, November 4th, one day after Election Day, but seemingly it's the election that may never end, right? Pretty insane what's happening over here. It's honestly hard to watch, but before we get into all that, you probably know, but my name is Scott Melker, known on Twitter as the Wolf of All Streets. Every single Wednesday at this time, 2:00 p.m. EST, I take chart requests from my newsletter subscribers. I do this for them, and then I put them in the Thursday newsletter and show them all my thoughts, write a paragraph on it, show them my charts. They can follow along, ask me my thoughts on assets. I'm going to go ahead and throw my screen up, and then you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about here, because this is where you can sign up for the newsletter. It's $15 a month, comes 2 to 3 times every single week. I take chart requests, share all of my own trades, thoughts, ideas, basically everything that passes through my head, news, education. It really is a huge undertaking. It's how I spend most of my time, but I'm extremely passionate about putting this product together and putting out this newsletter. So, we have a really, really excited community. They interact with me. I answer their questions. It's just awesome, man. I love doing it, and it's really a pleasure. The sponsor of the newsletter is Femex. It's the only exchange that I trade on with leverage at the moment. I've been doing so for a long time. I'm currently long Ethereum there. I'm really happy to see it go up today after exiting Bitcoin long too early on a trailing stop, which we can discuss, and also exiting a link long at a loss there. But in the description is the link to check out Femex, which really, I'm telling you, man, amazing team, incredible exchange, great liquidity, plenty of volume. I just really enjoy trading there. So as we have people rolling in here. What's up, guys? Hi. Worth every penny, your newsletter. Thank you, Tim. I really appreciate that. Everybody checking in. Hello. I see Sunil, John, Tim, Nathan. What's happening, guys? Everybody feel free to check in. Like I said, ask questions. And momentarily, I'm going to get into the chart. So as you would expect, because I have very educated subscribers, there aren't that many requests today because markets are volatile. They hate uncertainty. It's a tough time to be trading. And until roughly an hour ago, altcoins were getting pretty destroyed. But it's worth discussing that. So actually, before we get into your request, I think it would be a nice exercise to jump into the Bitcoin dominance chart, which I'm always constantly looking at. So let's look at this. Hopefully I changed my setup today and put like a 55-inch television basically in front of my face. And it's a bit overwhelming, and it's causing me to do this with my neck, but it's also kind of cool because I could watch the election results on it, which, again, such a shit show. So let's look at Bitcoin dominance here and what's interesting. So if you've been following along, I had sort of nailed the dominance chart all the way down. I have another version of it to open here that we can look at. But this was what had us in the newsletter very confident about trading alts for quite a while here. And we were kind of nailing all the bounces and calling the little mini alt seasons. And it was a lot of fun. Obviously, trading alts has become less fun slowly in that time. But this is the larger sort of macro chart, right? We had this major descending resistance. And by the way, charting Bitcoin dominance is a bit of a meme. It's not the same as charting a trading asset, right? This is not behavior of traders that's causing these candles. But it's still interesting to always look at charts of these things. So this is where I personally said, looks like alt season's coming, right? I had this line here, and we had a rejection of this descending line and this horizontal line at exactly the same time. And that's when I started screaming it was time to buy alts. I had drawn all these lines, and we've seen there was a breakdown, resistance, stopped at support, breakdown, resistance, stopped at support, breakdown, resistance, all the way down, right? So these were all predictable times when alts were good, slightly bad, good, good, slightly bad, up to resistance, right? So that formed this blue resistance to clean it up. And I said, if we see this blue resistance break, we're probably going to see a reversal. It's going to get ugly for altcoins, right? When Bitcoin is dominating, that means altcoins, that money is flowing out of altcoins and into Bitcoin, right? So just generally indicates that alts are being sold off and shows the sentiment. So here we go. Broke out. This was sort of that oh shit moment. Came back down. I was on a Hero live stream actually when this kind of price action was happening. And we were discussing that a lot of people were saying it was kind of a fake out, whatever. I said, I don't know. I think it looks like a retest of resistance as support. And sure enough, these candles are kind of ridiculous, right? This is just because, like I said, it's not a trading asset. So you get these sort of strange things, but you can see the trend, retest up. And we have kind of these new lines of resistance. And you can see stopped, support, up, rejected 1, 2, 3 times, then a strong push yesterday. And actually, so interestingly, I was on Twitter earlier and we were cleanly breaking above this red line, which is a key resistance. And I said, hey, maybe we're going to run this gap over here, right? This was sort of my upside target. So I do think alts are about to get very, very, very attractive soon. I said that, right? And so even if it came up to here, that's only as much as like yesterday. One candle here would be about that size. But now we're seeing perfect rejection at this red line. But interestingly, this move down was concurrent with a big Bitcoin move up, right? That is an amazing sign for crypto traders because it's sort of like catching a unicorn to have Bitcoin's price rising, but dominance dropping, because that means Bitcoin's price is going up, but we're also seeing money flowing into altcoins, indicates there could be new money in the market, alt interest. So this could be a good scenario if we see rejection here, or even if it runs the gap and then kind of falls down. I do still expect to see at some point money to flow heavily back into alts, but we saw a really nice pop there. Right. So let's go look at some of these requests as always. So I don't check the charts before we do these requests. I leave them. We can see my old mistakes. We can see my old lines, all of that. I just open the chart, I list them up there and then we go. So first request was ALGO, which is something I've been attempted to trade quite a few times and exited just the other day, even. So you can see we have this huge, this screen is so big. It's ridiculous. It's kind of awesome. So, I mean, you could draw this line coming down through here and say it already broke out, but I drew it here because it's clear that we've still sustained in this downtrend, right? So this would look better. The reason it's hard to scroll out to is it would look better on the daily. Okay, so let's start on the daily. Good idea. I think maybe we need to tighten that up a little bit right there. Okay, I can already tell you what I find interesting on this chart, which we were seeing on the 4-hour there was a lot of bullish divergence and was interested, but here's RSI, high or low. This is the daily, clearly lower lows on price, right? So that's not confirmed. Once again, confirmation for a div, since this is the last candle or period that closed, right now, this would confirm a div if it closed right now, because we have this clear V, this elbow up. If this line comes down here, kind of sideways or barely an angle or down, not convincing. But if it closes like this, you have a very, very definitive bullish divergence. Daily divs can take quite a while to play out, but oversold at 20 RSI with a div like that, that should pretty much be a bottom, right? Safest entry is still a break of this descending line. That's what confirms the downtrend ending. So you would have, turn the magnet off here. Oops. I would look for maybe something like this, You don't usually get that big straight line at the end. But it will have a lot of resistance. But that's sort of the idea. If it was reversing, is that we'd be flying on from here to the heavens. So maybe you wait, zooming back into the 4-hour. Maybe you wait until we're back above this line, key support, but I think I really like it above here. It's not that far away. You know, you could have caught this bottom. Maybe we've had all these divs here. You know, it's been coming for a while, building slowly. RSI just continues to rise and making more bullish divergences and one massive bullish divergence, which obviously now you're seeing on the daily. So I personally want to see it above here. This is where I exited before when it was losing this, kind of going sideways. I'd gotten in, you know, right here, and I exited like right here, a slight loss, even whatever. So, I mean, that's my general view of ALGO. I think that it looks like it's really trying to bottom here. Oh, one other thing. Look at the size of this 4-hour candle volume, right? What's been really interesting to me on alts in general is that the selling, it's been like these steady, but there hasn't been that many like huge volume sell-offs in a lot of these coins. It kind of seems like it's less about buying interest, less about selling interest than it is about just lack of buying interest. Like there's just no orders on the books, no one there. People get bored, they get impatient, they sell. So they're selling down the order book. There's no one to fill those orders, and the price just kind of dribbles down slowly. But I haven't seen much like high conviction selling into huge buying. So it's really interesting now to see big buying here. You know, that's big spread. So I like that. I'm into that. Yeah, so I'm going to come over, just check the comments, make sure nothing too far behind. Like your simple charts and divergence. Thank you. Hi there. Hi from South Africa. Hello. Hi. Let's rock. What's up, Tibble? ETH BTC with daily bullish divergence coming, oversold. Yep, probably. Dominance actually is the behavior, but in a consolidated way. Got super excited when I saw this. Bitcoin up, alts up. Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, let's keep going to the next one. The next request, I haven't looked at this in a while. ANKR. I had actually done a trade breakdown of this chart. We had a really nice profitable trade, but I obviously have removed it since. So that was over here. It's interesting because we're back to exactly the point where that trade was. It was here. I had sold some here, sold some here. I moved my stops up, stopped out, I believe, here, and then saw it trickle all the way down. So, I mean, we're going to see a trend here, guys. Guarantee it. We're going to see bullish divergence all over the charts, right? Call me a simpleton. I can use any indicator, any technique. I've learned them all. This is the one I like because it works. Finds bottoms and tops. I love it, right? So here we have this. You have a little potential hidden bearish divergence depending on where this closes and if price continues up. So we got to be careful. But I would say that like looking at this super locally, I don't know why I keep getting this dot, but it's fucking annoying. All right. Can I get a line? Not that kind of line. It is a white line though. White line. Oh gosh, ANKR. Sexy. It's really nice, right? Let me just move it right over here. This line, nah, don't like it, right? You gotta erase your old lines. If they suck, they suck. That's it. They're good. That one's pretty good still because of the rejection here. But if we're coming in on the 4-hour and we want to trade this, you know, you don't really trade alts too often on the monthly chart, right? You can zoom in and take a look. So let's see what we got here. I like this. I mean, you could have even bought it here at 49, still at a pretty good price, 51. You might get one of these, right? Trickle down to here, up to here. But I think that, you know, this break at 49 should lead to 58, I would say at the minimum. If you want to like get really technical, you could draw a line here, 55, this high. You can also take one off this low, but I don't like that as much. But you could definitely take, if you don't like this line, you know, everybody's got their own way, man. This is a clear breakdown here. So I like that. And probably I would, if I was drawing brand new lines, take it from here, something like this, right? Or this. They all apply. Doesn't really matter. Lines are areas, right? Zones. You don't need to be exactly on the line. You want to front run your lines. But ANKR, regardless, here it looks good to me. This is a clear breakout of a descending resistance. with bullish divergence, previously oversold. So another decent volume candle, not like what we saw in ALGO. I'd say there's more buying interest in ALGO. But if we're going to reverse here from 49.51, that's a pretty good entry. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that. That seems like convincing enough to me. I guess I could zoom out to the daily and see if there's anything super interesting. Boom, break, boom, break. Same thing, just smaller consolidation. I think it looks good. Interesting, because I was super down on alts still this morning until that rejection, and we still could see dominance break above. So you got to be very, very careful here. That's a really important caveat. I'm not rushing off to buy any of these right now. As cool as it looks, not rushing off. BITF, I have no idea what this is. Bitfarms Limited. All right. So yeah, to be clear, as I always am about this, technical analysis on stocks is not the whole picture ever. You need to understand fundamentals of the companies that you're buying, what they are, what they do, what their earnings look like, corporate structure, when earnings are coming, things like that if you're going to trade stocks. So just looking at a chart, it's pretty difficult. Still don't know why I'm getting this dot. I don't know what is happening here. Seems like we've got like this big sort of descending channel vibe. I don't know. This is not behaving right now, my trading view. So, but yeah. Oh, this looks juicy. Holy. Don't know what this is, but I'd probably buy it. Right? You see these channels, right? I always talk about this. Price loves to move in channels. And that one, I just looked at it. It's so obvious to me, right? I mean, this is basically from inception. You had, this looks like a altcoin. It's not stock, but like this sort of entered into the market and has been nothing but down since those first, 2 days? Pretty funny. So this is the 50 MA, 200 MA. On the daily. So the break of this 200, rejection, 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 break, support, bounce, really good. So I would personally, like, if I was trying to be greedy, I'd be looking for this, right? And then bounce to that area, bounce to that area, bounce to that area. And I'll show you why I would draw those kind of like that. But I drew them badly, I'm quite sure, but boom. Maybe I drew this one. Man, I stink at drawing lines. Yikes. Yeah. It's just ideas, guys. I mean, it's not like, these lines are whatever, something here. This one's there. I would definitely draw a line probably here that we're breaking through as we speak. So I could even see entering now and just hoping it holds above 53 cents. Doesn't have to come back for this retest. It's already tested these. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty appealing chart, honestly. We want to see a little more volume coming in, I would say, on this break. But, 28 cents, it's already done 2x since it hit the center of this channel. Let's talk about this channel, right? So that's not a perfect touch. We could probably want to have your bias towards the beginning touch right there. So yeah, this is like a little lower. But we talk about this EQ, right? The equilibrium, the 50% halfway point of every channel. Ascending, parallel, doesn't matter. When you see a good channel, you see lots of price action around it. So look at that. Support, rejection, 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 rejection throughout, right? Tons of support here, rejections here. And the ultimate move is a test of that and move up, right? So pretty clear. I would say that this just kind of looks good. I don't have that much more to say about it, except for that that's a downtrend that's clearly breaking and looks ready to head up. Again, I don't know what Bitfarms is. They could be, feeding cancerous cigarettes to baby bunnies and go out of business tomorrow. I have no idea. So you need to understand the company you're buying and if there's some major event coming, things like that. But from a technical perspective, it looks pretty damn good. Easy ETH. So, oh my God, man, I have I hate this thing because Income Sharks actually hit me up and he was like, you should take a look at Easy. It's done like a 5x from there in like a couple days or something. It was probably like on Halloween. I was like, I'm busy with my kids, whatever, something like this. It's like tripled or 2x or something. And then he was like, I was like, maybe I'll buy it. And I was like, I don't have any Ethereum laying around on Binance. I'm not going to buy it. Too lazy. Well, it was good advice. So I haven't looked at the chart, but I can already tell you it looks like, some sort of bullish consolidation vibes. Once again, have to change to a cross. Give me my line back, bruh. You're all using the magnet tool now, right? When you do your charts, that's how we lock in. Okay, that's fine. So listen, if you would have drawn this when it started, you would have given yourself this like stupid big descending, broadening descending wedge. Nobody likes that. That looks dumb. I'd say we have a bull pennant, but I'm not calling you a but can't use this candle officially yet. It hasn't even closed, right? It's a 4-hour candle. It could trickle down here, but that's what I will be watching on this. And this is a monster bull pennant. I'm gonna have to shrink this just to show you the target. You can draw it from anywhere you want around here. This is how you measure a bull pennant or a bull flag's target, right? It's the length of the flagpole. You could say the flagpole's here, but then this isn't really the pennant. So I would call it this entire move, especially like I bet if you zoom to the daily, that's just, yeah. See how clear of a pennant that is on the daily? Because there's no red or blue in my case there. But let's go back out to the 4-hour. Copy this, right? Ooh, that's not what I did, is it? Copy this. I took my line too and extrapolate it. So it depends on where it breaks out. Now I'm using a log chart. That's why this line looks so small. It's a relative move in percentage, not based on the exact number. So your target would be, somewhere around 42. So over 2.5 times up. Yeah. So personally, if you see this confirmed, you could take, this is a brand new 50 MA. It's not giving us much information on the 4-hour, but you could take a bounce off of this, or the smartest move is a break above so that you get one of these. And then listen, it's price discovery, right? The only resistance on this entire chart up here is this little thing right here. I would expect resistance there, but that's still, from 16 to 28 is a massive move. If this breaks out at 20 to 28, talk about a 40% move before you've even gotten to the resistance or started to approach these targets. So I would say that this looks extremely bullish. A note about bull pennants, bull flags, right? We saw this candle, this spread of volume on the way up started to decrease, but since it hit the top, we've seen decreasing volume, right? Interesting. This is a big selling candle, but with the wick, you can tell we had that sort of buying interest come in. So if you drill in, I bet you'll see some bigger green candles as a part of it. So it's a little misleading. Sometimes you want to drill in to see, zoom in to see your volume, but you want to see the volume increase when you break out. So you see decreasing volume during consolidation. That's one of the signs of consolidation that actually kind of confirms that it's a bull flag or a bull pennant. So it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, right? So I would say that this looks mega good. Let's look at Ethereum USD. I'm actually long this from 386, so I'm interested to check in on it. Get rid of this line at this point. This is the daily. We've talked about it a lot. Low, high, higher low, higher high. This looks like it will be likely a higher low, but we can't call it that yet. I'm assuming you've learned why by now. We cannot call this a higher low until we confirm it with a higher high. So we need price to be above like 420 to confirm that we've maintained this structure. Now, as I said before, some people would say this was a higher high depending on the wick, right? And then you would add a higher low here, whatever. So if you viewed this as one of the lows, which many people would, this was like my stop loss was right below this, because a break in market structure I viewed as coming below here would really be kind of, ceasing that pattern of higher lows. So that hasn't happened. My cost basis is 386 just below here, and we're seeing this nice movement up, which I am loving, right? So, but once we see that, if you make another higher high, you would expect to price down, and we'll just kind of continue dribbling up. But once again, let's take a look at a channel. We have this channel, which is a trading range in this case, which I took from the highs here to these lows. You see the EQ? Magic. Look at rejection, 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 rejection. Look at all that resistance, like right at the candles. It's a good channel. So yeah, we're seeing action around it, but it's really consolidation around it. So if we really close this up here, I would say that we've flipped it back to support, which means we should be seeing a move to the top of channel. So my targets on this move, 480s. Interestingly, you take a look at the fibs, which I was talking to someone about literally just the other day. So you fib this whole channel, right? This is your 100 down to 0. So now look at the retracement, right? We went up. Where did we get rejected? Right at the 61.8, as you would expect. Golden pocket. This is where moves go to die. 61.8%, came down, found support at the 38.2. Those are the two most important fibs, and moved up. Fibonacci levels are amazing. So cool, right? So that's it. Oh, so I am going to do this really quick. Somebody just said, how is that bearish div on ANKR? It's not there yet, to be clear, but this is what it would be. Something like this. If this ends up lower, something like that. That'd be a hidden bearish div if this turns down. But you don't have to worry about that yet. It's not there. It's just an idea. So yeah, Ethereum to me remains looking really good. Let's pull up the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Nobody asked for it, but I want to look at it, and you guys don't get to say anything. I do whatever I want because I'm talking to myself in a camera awkwardly. Dang. I don't know. Bullish divergence, oversold, building, blast off, right into resistance, coincidentally. So yeah, I don't know. Let's zoom out to the daily. I wonder if there's a day. Yep. And sure enough, as you see across the board, bullish divergence here, these lows. So that will confirm if this candle remains the same, and it's presently at a key macro resistance going all the way back to here, and touch that resistance with the top of the candle. Cool. So still the play on Ethereum BTC really is a flip of either of these, but really a break of this line. Very simple. Let's pull up some other indicators on this just for fun. See what we got. I haven't made any new templates in years, so maybe some pivots. Those aren't telling me much on the daily, maybe on the 4-hour. Exactly at the pivot. Support at the S1, should return back to there. Flip it, head up to the R1. Not too interesting to me. Let's see if we got a cloud. Don't even know. Here's one that's just got 1 million indicators on it. Previous pivots. Wow. Cloud is terrible. So tons of resistance overhead. This is what you're going to see on alts if you look at the Ichimoku cloud. That's OBV. There's a clear bullish divergence on OBV as well. MACD looks like it's bottoming out and curling up. The histogram is already headed up. So I'll close those. Don't use them very often. Close RSI as well. Take a look at this. So it's interesting. There's nothing but resistance overhead. Here's the 200 EMA in this case. Get rid of that 50. So we just have the cloud. I mean, it's hard to even look at this because we're so far below Tenkin, Kijun. These are both, you know, EMAs. This is the faster moving one. Had the bearish cross here. It's been nothing but down since. So like if you were an Ichimoku cloud trader, I'm sorry, I'm sitting back there because my screen is so big and realizing I'm not near the mic. You wouldn't even consider this till you're above all these lines and way up here. So it's not really that interesting to look at this. But in theory, you would want these crossed up. You want everything below price as opposed to above it. Also, you're seeing this twist here, Kumo twist to the red cloud, which is not a particularly bullish signal. You want a green cloud. You have this flat Kumo bottom, flat cloud below. That would be strong resistance. So you can expect if you get up to here, 3-2, that we're going to see a ton of resistance with all this. But you know, that's just one way to look at it. It was fun to open it, but not giving us much information. On to PDD, one that I got apparently horribly wrong. So that's stocks, right? So a subscriber hit me up today and said, so your analysis on PDD was tragically wrong. What do you do when your analysis is tragically wrong? Basically. So first, it's a stock. I know nothing about it. Don't know what it does. One piece of news in your chart is wrecked, as I said. That said, looking at this, I would change nothing about my analysis. This is a triple top that had a break of the neckline, which was the line in between, the pink line, which is also the range bottom, and retest, right? This is probably where I charted this. It said short it. Okay. Did go down some. Certainly didn't come down here. It's making all-time highs. So clearly something happened here fundamentally. But if this was your setup and you had this triple top and this was your target, your setup is invalidated when this breaks. So once you're up here or something, you can actually take that as a long if you like it. You're confirmed, you're back in the range. You can long it a break of the EQ and a retest here. And then you could long it now, which is hard with the gap but like you could now, if I was looking to trade this, I would take a retest of the top of the range, right? And this would be your sort of meaningful support, something like this. I'll just put it there for argument's sake, right? So you're going to be wrong all the time when you do technical analysis because it can't predict the future, whatever. All you can do is follow the rules. And this was by any definition, a triple top and the breakdown of a trading range. Very clear. There's no way I could look at this chart in a different way than I did, even looking at it again now. Now, I will say that this would have given you, but I didn't have this information really at that time. This would have given you more confirmation that it was reversal, rejected here, and then a buy here. I didn't know that was going to look like that, by the way. It always does, right? So you could have bought this right here, $79-ish, $79.96, and seen it going up. And now you have this sort of level of support, right? So when you're wrong, you need to have a level of invalidation for when you're wrong. And that would have been if you had shorted here, you would have stopped out somewhere in this area, back up in the range. And then if you really wanted to get long, maybe you wait till it breaks this. I would have been waiting for a retest at the bottom of the range. It wouldn't have come. So I wouldn't have taken it. You would take it here, you could take it here, you could take it here, right? Volume's unimpressive on that entire move, by the way, but that's irrelevant. It did really well. So that would be my my view of PDD. Pinduoduo. TOMO, I haven't looked at this thing in a long time. I'm assuming it's wrecked city. Oh, this is interesting. This is the last time that I analyzed it. Said it was a bear flag. Just look at the target of that. And Scott hits the wrong button. Give me a price range or give me death. Give me a cross or give me death. The struggle is real. The election is jamming my brain right now. Okay, so something like this. Let's flip it. That is hideous. Okay. Again, we copy this. to the point of breakdown. Okay, well, the measured move on this is like beyond the floor. I don't know that we'll get there, right? But that's just kind of dumb. You could also, I mean, actually, it might be more appropriate with the bear flag to say that this was the beginning of the move. In which case, yeah, like that, right at support where we are. That's pretty spot on that bear flag, wouldn't you say? I'd say so. And these are old lines, right? But I don't like this one anymore. It's in the way. But this was a clear break, retest, resistance, 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 done. Now let's check out this line, which I like. This could maybe be a bearish SFP. Call me maybe bearish SFP. Have this wick down. Perfect kind of bounce off support just below. If this heads up, this could really, really, really look like a bottom here. Listen, if you want to trade this asset, you buy it here. I know it sounds nuts because alts are so wrecked and whatever, but this is support and you're invalidated like right down here or something. You can take such a small loss if you take a position here, and that's what matters. If you assume, I always talk about you should plan your losses. So you want to take a trade where your invalidation is the smallest loss possible, not even considering the upside necessarily, right? So take a trade where you're not going to lose much money if you're wrong, which means support, basically. Yes, it's a falling knife. It's a vicious falling knife, but maybe you put your stop below 320 to account for a bounce here. There's also this sort of support here at 304, but this has hit its target. We're at 26 on daily RSI. This thing could bounce. Let's see what the 4 hour is showing us. I bet it's going to show us a bullish divergence. Not on that one, but this, you could call that. I don't really love it because there's a lot of non-divergent action here, but I mean, higher lows. So if you go to the 6 hour, you'll see it, I'm sure. Higher low, slightly higher low, maybe. Yep. See, higher low, all coming out of oversold. So I would not blame somebody for taking a position on TOMO here, but once again, you want that like better confirmation, which will come in the form of like, maybe move that to there. Like a break of this, like a line like this or something. So wait till it breaks that if you want a little more confirmation, then heading back up. And there will be, there's additional lines of resistance here. I would draw a line here. Or here, probably somewhere in this area. Right, maybe one at the top, but something through here, but you get the idea. And if you don't listen, if you're not if you don't feel comfortable drawing support and resistance, doesn't really matter. Pull a fib. Pull your fibs and call it a day. Doesn't matter how you find your targets. Those are, look, I mean, you pull fibs and it's the same as these 3 lines. That's why I talk about them being zones and not lines, this one up here. So yeah, use your fibs as targets. Easy peasy, simple. All right, so that's actually all the requests. Just gonna click over to Bitcoin real quick. Actually, this is the Bitcoin versus dollar versus stonks chart. Bitcoin rising, dollar falling, stonks being boring as always. Enjoy yourselves. This is what I had drawn yesterday for Bitcoin to keep it really simple. If it comes down, I'm still buying here, clearly in this ascending channel, and it found a bottom. So we should be heading up to the top of this channel now that we're above the half. So 14.5, 14.6, something like that. This is the monthly. Yes, we were rejected at 13,863, but now we're above. We also have an entire month left, so it doesn't matter at all to look at the monthly chart. But if it closes above that, there's no resistance to 19,891. So the weekly, same kind of view. Nothing really exciting on any of these time frames because it is what it is. This is, you want to look at the monthly chart here, right? We're to the area where we can actually be concerned with these monthly lines. So that is it for that. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to temporarily dig into your questions over here, which maybe I can bring this up in front of me so I can actually read it, right? Just adjusting some things over here. Someone say go Gators. That's cool. All right, back to the top. Hello, Scott. If you guys have any questions, I forget to interact, but please go ahead and ask them. I've got probably about 20 more minutes here in theory, so have at it. I'm not going to chart any more random charts here. That'd be sort of a disservice to my subscribers who, paid for it. It's weird. I'm looking at the quality audio of the quality, and I look kind of janky on the screen. Weird. All right, so I got Go Gators. Hell yeah. Hey boss, Melker's for the children. Flow Raider, my man, Wu-Tang. Go Gators. What's up, guys? Bearish div on ANKR. We established that. Biden or Trump, does it matter regarding the crypto market? I don't think it matters. So if you've been following me at all, I wrote a long sort of intro on this and a long thread on Twitter about it. There's no real evidence to show that a switch of regime or a party flip or any of those has any discernible effect on the stock market. We don't have any evidence of what it would do to the crypto market. So it would be otherwise conjecture. But in general, you might see some immediate volatility because the market hates uncertainty, right? The market, I don't think, cares who wins. It just wants to know that there's a winner and it's not disputed. So I would expect to continue to see volatility as the shit show of the American election continues. But I think that eventually it will be, all clarified and that it'll be fine. But I don't see any reason to be particularly bullish or bearish on Bitcoin or crypto because of the election. I just think you should be bullish on crypto because it makes sense right now to be very bullish on crypto. Someone said, doesn't matter, USD going down, 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 get out. Well, if USD is going down, 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 we should see Bitcoin going up, up, up. So that's good. Jeff, financially free Celsius network. I love you, Scott. Keep up the amazing effort you're bringing. You are welcome. And I love Celsius as well. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point, if you have some cash on the side, to not have it sitting on Celsius or a platform where you can earn 9-10% yield, just sitting in stable coins with no volatility risk. It's really ridiculous. This is how you make money. If you had like 100 grand right now and you're in your 20s, nobody in their 20s really has 100 grand. But if you did and you just put it there and did nothing else, you'd probably be retiring in your 40s or 50s, depending on your lifestyle, just by getting 10% a year, not trading, not doing anything, especially if you could add to it. Crazy. But that's how generational wealth has always been accumulated. But the problem is you can't do that with dollars anymore. It's literally impossible. Dollars are losing buying power. Right? We see inflation at a rate higher. Even if inflation is only like 1%, if you're getting less than 1% on your cash, you're losing buying power every day that passes. So gaining yield, that's the real core purpose in my mind of DeFi. And you can do it without yield farming and going through all this risk. You can just put your money on some of these platforms and just gain. And you can obviously deposit Ethereum or Bitcoin and gain yield on those in kind, which is insane that you can put Bitcoin somewhere and make Bitcoin just leaving your Bitcoin there after years of leaving it on exchanges and all these places and all this risk. Then you have like platforms like Voyager where you can actively be trading and gaining that yield at the same time. So when you're not in a trade, you're getting interest. I mean, it's so amazing. So I know that nobody asked me about that, but really, really important. So Neil, hey Scott, any contact with Satoshi Flipper is all okay to him? I have no idea, man. I've reached out to him like 3 or 4 times and I've gotten no response. So I have no idea what's going there. I don't know him personally beyond like having an email address and contact with him on Twitter. So I've tried to reach out, and I know other friends of his have tried to reach out as well. And nobody's heard from him, but there are plenty of people in the space who know him actually personally. And I haven't heard anything. So definitely worried. I know the last I'd heard from him was that his parents had COVID. And then he went off the grid. So I don't know. So, oh, thank you. You answered amazing. So Goran, ETH USDT, how long do you think we see 480? Would you recommend entering 400 long if a daily closes above 400 tonight? I'm looking back at the chart. Yeah, I mean, that's the 50% retrace, 399.48. So I could definitely see an argument for doing that. I mean, all I can say is I'm long. You know, like I'm long from 386. I might look to add for them. I'm just generally very bullish on Ethereum. You know, get my keyboard out of the way and I can move this mic a little closer, and maybe you guys should be able to hear me. So I got 140K in crypto from 0 to 140K in 3 years. I'm 26 years old at this moment. Jeff, dude, that is badass, buddy. I had like negative 14K when I was 26 years old, and you've got positive 140K. You're on the path. You are one of the people I'm talking about. You could literally probably leave your money there. Be careful. Use 2FA, all those things. Don't get hacked. Don't lose it. And if you keep doing that, you'll be rich, right? So I'm going back through. Anybody else have any other questions? We can talk election crazy. As I've been saying for days, I really figured it was going to take a very, very, very long time to get this election sorted. Sadly, everybody was staying up late last night thinking there was going to be some answer, and I don't think that answer is coming anytime soon. Unfortunately, you know, they're already talking about recounts in Wisconsin, and I mean, it's just got crazy. So I think that we're going to have that uncertainty sort of to deal with for quite a while. So I wouldn't expect to get any answers, although I do think, you know, it looks like Biden has a clearer path at the moment, which was not the case when I went to bed last night. But even if he declares victory, I have a feeling that will be contested, recounted, potentially brought to the courts, and could be a pretty insane situation there. Guys, please, I forgot, do the thumbs up thing. If you hit that thumbs up, apparently it helps the algorithm, and people might like me better or something. What was your name when you were a DJ? 2 thumbs. I was Scott 2 thumbs, just like I just did. Hit the thumbs. I went by my name, Scott Melker, and the Melker Project. You can see some of my old projects, actually, the art back there. That's what's hanging back there. Yeah, so although my first name in college was DJ Pookie. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, recount coming. MJ saying, I'm from Belgium, no crypto taxes yet. Oh man, you're so lucky. We get destroyed on taxes. Trump got Pennsylvania, not surprised. Is grayscale an option for ETH besides the normal crypto bags, pros, cons? William, so the grayscale projects are good for the, I would say they're good for the space in that they offer an accessible way for people to gain exposure. You can put it in your IRA. You can do all those things, get the tax benefits of that. But they trade at such a premium, all the grayscale products, and are extremely volatile. So I don't love them. I have some GBTC just because I feel like I should have some GBTC. But like, if you have the means to just buy Ethereum, there's no reason necessarily to be an ETH. I think it's for people who don't want to custody or hold their own coins or anything like that. Thanks for answering. Very simple. Perfect, Jess. Thanks for going live today. My pleasure. Make sure to like this live. Yes, indeed. Hells yeah. Dude, did you discuss the $1 billion move of Bitcoin from the Silk Road wallet? So I saw the news. I didn't really look into it. It's crazy, but I hate to even begin to conjecture what it means, right? It wasn't moved from a wallet to an exchange. If it was moved to an exchange, I'd be pretty worried that someone was about to sell 1 billion. But people move coins. I don't know why. And I hate getting into conspiracy theories of the reasons that things like that may or may not have happened. So I'm just going to sit that one out. But I will say it's incredible that somebody can send $1 billion with fees like under $20. That's awesome. Can't do that with your bank. So, you know, pretty psyched about that. I got about 10 more minutes, although I might likely sign off if there's no more questions or concerns. Definitely remind you guys once again, if you want me to do a chart for you on a Wednesday, please sign up for the newsletter. Again, that link was shared at the beginning. Someone said CIA money. I love a good conspiracy. Listen, I love listening to a good conspiracy, but I definitely hate to like put the shit out there like that as if I have any idea. Oh, I see Macho's here. Mocho, Macho, Mocho, Macho. I call them both. Hey. So, hey, man, why do you think they just moved $1 billion in Bitcoin from Silk Road Wallet? He might have a thought on that. Missed link entry pumping again, ARG. It's still below where I exited it, I think. So I don't feel too bad about that. But link has a tendency to troll anytime you think it's going down. It just reverses and pumps. I mean, it's a great asset. And like if you were going to be exposed to anything in the altcoin market, Link is probably, outside of Ethereum, if you consider that an altcoin, which I do, is probably the best bet. Tim, do I always trade with leverage? No, rarely. I rarely trade with leverage. So most of my positions are spot. I believe largely in investing. And so, I'm mostly buying spot. When I have pretty high conviction on a position that's got a pretty tight stop, I lever up. So, I'll trade generally. Macho says FUD to get dips for the billion. I agree with that. Someone move $1 billion around and maybe the price will go down, but it didn't go down. So yeah, I will use leverage on a higher conviction position or just on a trade, because obviously sometimes I just don't want to be exposed with that much Bitcoin. I view the benefit of leverage to be the counterparty risk of not having as much money on an exchange. So like if I can get 10x, I'll just go ahead and do that to avoid having to put 10 times as much Bitcoin on an exchange. But leverage is sort of, it's sort of irrelevant to traders who are conservative and really know how to use it. Like the point of leverage is not, oh, I've only got $1,000. I need to, lever up and trade with $100,000. You're just going to lose $1,000, right? That's not the mentality behind leverage trading. And if you're at 100x or 10x or 1x or 5x, it should be completely irrelevant, because you should have a stop loss that's above where your liquidation would be. So I'll determine my leverage based on my stop loss, right? If it's a really wide stop loss, I'm taking lower leverage. If I'm sitting on support and my stop loss is like $50 below price anyways, I'll use 100x leverage. Doesn't matter. But it could be 10x leverage. It's the same position. So I hope that helps answer it. But I don't think that most people should be even touching leverage unless you've done it for years, and you'll probably get wrecked. Any suggestions on what all data point or details to journal about your trades in an attempt to improve? That's a good question. So for me, journaling is like, if you're in the newsletter, I review trades that I've lost on or something, and I sort of like puke my stream of consciousness as to why, I did what I did, or my view on the chart. So yeah, I think that when you're journaling, you should always list your position size, stop loss, target, risk reward. So, pull out the long or short tool and see, was it a 7-to-1? Was it an 8-to-1? Was it a 2-to-1? Should I have waited for a better entry to increase that risk reward? Things like that. But more for me, I find journaling less about the data points and more about, what was I feeling when I took that trade? Why did I do it? Was I FOMOing in, or was like, was I watching a level but then entered before it actually got to the level I was watching? Things like that. It's more about understanding what my mentality was at the time, and if I made a mistake in judging it, or if I actually followed the plan. So you should have a very specific plan. So you should journal what that plan was. Then you should journal how you actually traded it, compare that to your plan, see if you did it correctly. So for me, journaling is more about seeing if there was a better entry or a better approach to the trade than it is about specifically the data points. But maybe by tracking all those, you'll say, hey, listen, like, I don't do well on a trade that's got less than a 3 risk reward, or I don't do well unless it's 5. There's some people I know who do 1-to-1s and kill it. So it's really about finding your own system. But the point of journaling is to not make the same mistake over and over again, right? Like the definition of insanity, as they say. So Balcho said, did you check DOT? I'll do that in a minute. Don't usually, but for you, sure. I know that it looks bottomed out, I'll tell you that. FBI trolling Bitcoin, moving their bag, just hold, buy a good basket. Who doesn't hate themselves for now buying all the 911 Porsches 20 years ago? They were giving them away. True. All right, I'm going to open a DOT chart for you, bud. Now I got to, and this time I'm going to remember to share my screen. A few weeks ago, like on my first or second stream, I just talked for 20 minutes without sharing my screen, which was a weak ass move. Google Chrome dot. My mom's name is Dorothy, and people used to call her Dot. She hated it. My dad's Richard. So there was a time when people liked to call my mom Dick and Dot. Not cool. This line's whack. Maybe move it here, but there's a lot of spread there. So I'll just go ahead and take that off completely. That's like, you have an alert on that, dummy. Yeah, well, I did. I mean, I would say that Dot looks like everything else, which is super bottomed out with significant bullish divergence, not on the daily. But do you guys know what I'm doing at 3 o'clock? I have to go get my kids and go get flu shots with like masks on and hiding from the doctor. Really looking forward to this afternoon. I'd rather sit here and do charts for the next 50,000 hours. Although anything's better than watching election coverage. I'd probably rather get 50 flu shots than be subjected to watching these on the news. So yeah, I mean, I would say that this is likely to reverse here. There's a nice bounce. This is not confirmed, but it will in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Oh my God. I keep thinking like that I'm in the Eastern Standard Time, and I keep thinking that the closes are at noon 4:08, and they're not. They're at 11:37. Time change is so stupid. If any of you know a politician, get them to fix the time changes. I'm your guy. I'll pay for that. Here you go. So I would say, like, for me, at this point, if you didn't catch that bottom, like, I would want to see it clear that line. So I would do one of these thingies, right? If it's going up. So I would be looking for an entry above 29648. But like, I'm still bullish on Polkadot. I think it's going to be awesome. Right. So, and then we had that huge sort of descending line, but maybe we take something a little more local and we'll have a breakout here. So something like this. It's ugly because of this price action here, but I would say that it appears Dot is breaking out and doing so on increasing volume. That's the quick and dirty of that. So now I'm back. Appreciate time and effort. Celsius is exploding. I hope in a good way. Yeah. Cell tokens done like thousands of percents this year, right? So it's as far as I understand it, it's not something I trade as an American. I just use Celsius, the product, and sometimes I get, obviously paid and sell, but it's deflationary, right? They printed a certain amount on the first day, and that's the total supply of sell. So if they're not going to increase the supply and people use their platform and get paid in the token, it's going to go up. It's a pretty safe bet. So it's probably one of the better. So guys, I got to run. Once again, sign up for the newsletter. Comes out every Tuesday, Thursday, sometimes Friday, randomly on a weekend. Whenever I have a thought that I want to share, you can do that at the address for that is getreview.co/profile/thewolfden/members. It's below in the description. That's what I should have said, because that's much more important. And also check out FEMX. It's below. That's where I'm trading. And that's it, guys. You are amazing. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you checking in. If it was even one or two of you, man, I would be really grateful that anybody bothered to sit here and listen to me. It's awesome. I really, really love it. And let's hope that we get through this election without too much drama, get some answers, and can continue on our way up. Thank you, guys. Peace.